What is up, everybody? It's your boy Majid, and today, we are doing something absolutely insane. You know I'm always up for a challenge, and this time, I've decided to push the limits of artificial intelligence. That's right, I challenged 5 AIs to teach me English in 2025. I wanted to see if these robots could actually make me fluent, or if they'd just, completely fail. And let me tell you, their mistakes were shocking. We're talking next-level blunders that you just have to see to believe. For this experiment, I locked myself away, dedicating serious hours to each of these AI language tutors. I'm talking about putting them through the ringer, testing their speaking lessons, their writing help, their accent coaching, everything. Could an AI replace a human teacher? Could it understand my specific needs, my weird questions, my terrible pronunciation at times? I was skeptical but also super curious. The future is here, or is it? We're about to find out which AI comes out on top and which ones need to go back to the digital drawing board. And just to give you a little taste of the chaos, check this out. One of the AIs trying to teach me about beach vocabulary actually told me, "I have a sheep at the beach, a sheep, not a ship, a sheep." I almost fell out of my chair. If that's the kind of mistake we're starting with, imagine what else I uncovered. So buckle up, because this is the ultimate AI English learning showdown. Let's go! Alright, first up in the ring we have the legend, the myth, the one everyone's talking about, ChatGPT 4o. This thing is supposed to be a beast, not just for writing essays, but for actual conversations and even making custom study plans. So I thought, okay, ChatGPT, show me what you got. Can you really be my personal English tutor? I fired it up, ready to be amazed or, massively disappointed. The pressure was on. My first challenge for ChatGPT 4o was the voice conversation feature. I wanted to see if I could have a natural flowing chat, just like with a real person. I started simple, asking about its day, which is weird, I know it's an AI, but I wanted to test its conversational fillers and responses. It was surprisingly good. The voice was clear, it understood my questions, and it even threw in some casual phrases. It wasn't perfect, sometimes the latency was a tiny bit off, but it was way better than I expected. Then I decided to push it. I asked it to role-play a job interview with me. This is where things got interesting. It took on the persona of an interviewer, asked me tough questions, and even gave me feedback on my answers in real time. Majid, that was a good response, but you could try to be more concise here, it would say. It was like having a practice buddy available 24/7. I spent a solid hour just doing mock interviews, and honestly my confidence started to go up. But the real test? Custom study plans. I told ChatGPT 4 of my goals: improve my business English, expand my vocabulary for presentations, and get better at understanding fast native speakers. I was specific. I said, I have 30 minutes a day, make me a plan for the next week, and boom! Within seconds it generated a detailed schedule. Monday, business idioms. Tuesday, listening practice with specific podcast recommendations. Wednesday, presentation phrasing. It was nuts. I followed this custom plan for a few days and it was surprisingly effective. The lessons were tailored, it remembered what we covered previously, and it would quiz me on it. Next up we have Elsa Speak. This AI is all about pronunciation and helping you sound like a native speaker. It claims to use advanced speech recognition to pinpoint exactly where you're going wrong with your accent. I was super excited but also a little nervous for this one. My accent? It's a work in progress, let's just say that. So, Elsa, can you make me sound like I was born speaking English? Challenge accepted. The moment I opened Elsa Speak, it threw me into an assessment test. It gave me a bunch of sentences to read, and I could see it analyzing my speech in real time. Little colored indicators popped up over words, showing if I nailed the pronunciation, or if I was, butchering it. Green for good, yellow for okay, red for Majid. What was that? It was intense. The immediate feedback is kind of addictive, not gonna lie. After the assessment, Elsa gave me a score and a breakdown of the sounds I struggled with the most. For me, it was apparently the th sound and some specific vowel sounds. Ouch, Elsa, hitting me with the hard truths. But then it generated a personalized lesson plan focusing specifically on those problem areas. This is where Elsa really shines, that laser focus on your individual pronunciation weaknesses. I dove into the AI drills. These are short exercises where you listen to a native speaker say a word or phrase, then you repeat it, and Elsa scores you. It shows you a little mouth animation, supposedly how your tongue and lips should be positioned. It's like having a speech therapist in your pocket. Some of the drills were tough, man. I'd repeat a word 10 times trying to get that perfect score, and Elsa would be like, nope, try again. It was frustrating, but also super motivating. One feature I found incredibly useful was the ability to tap on any word in a sentence and hear its individual pronunciation, then practice just that word. And it doesn't just tell you if you're right or wrong, it gives you feedback on specific phonemes within the word. Chapter 3 TalkPal. 24/7 voice chats and cultural secrets unlocked? Alright, contestant number 3 is TalkPal. This AI promises live voice chat and even cultural coaching. I was intrigued. Could I have a genuinely engaging, spontaneous conversation with an AI and learn about cultural nuances? That's a tall order. So I logged into TalkPal, microphone ready, expecting either a breakthrough or a total communication breakdown. Let's see if this AI can actually talk. The first thing I noticed about TalkPal was its emphasis on different chat modes. You can choose to have a casual chat, a debate, practice a scenario like ordering food, or even get feedback on your speaking. I jumped straight into a casual chat, just to see how natural it felt. And honestly, it was pretty impressive. The AI voice was one of the most human-sounding I'd encountered so far, and it was quick to respond. I decided to really test its conversational abilities. I started talking about my day, my hobbies, even some random thoughts I had. TalkPal kept up. It asked follow-up questions, shared its programmed opinions, and even made a few jokes. Okay, the jokes were a bit corny, AI humor is still developing, but the effort was there. It felt less like a Quanda session and more like a real back and forth. This was a huge step up. Then I explored the cultural coaching aspect. This is where TalkPal got really interesting. I asked it about common American slang, business etiquette in the UK, and even how to politely decline an invitation in Canada. The AI provided detailed explanations, examples, and even role-played scenarios with me to practice. It was like having a cultural guide on demand. It told me things you wouldn't easily find in a textbook. For example, I asked about tipping culture in the US, which can be super confusing. Chapter 4, Grammarly Go. Can this AI make my writing perfect and get me an A+? Alright team, we've talked a lot about speaking, but what about writing? For that, we're bringing in the heavyweight champion of grammar correction, Grammarly, but specifically its AI-powered feature, Grammarly Go. I use Grammarly all the time for basic spell checks, but Grammarly Go promises to help with tone, clarity, and even generate text. So can this AI turn my jumbled thoughts into a masterpiece of academic or business writing? Let's find out. My first test for Grammarly Go was to help me write a formal email to a potential business partner. I drafted a pretty rough version, intentionally making it a bit too casual and unclear in places. Then I unleashed Grammarly Go. I used its improved clarity and make it more formal prompts. And wow, it rephrased sentences, suggested stronger vocabulary, and adjusted the tone to be perfectly professional. It was like having a super strict editor looking over my shoulder, but in a good way. Next, I decided to push its creative capabilities. I gave it a prompt: write a short paragraph about the importance of sustainable energy in an optimistic and persuasive tone. Within seconds, it generated a well-written paragraph that hit all the right notes. It wasn't just grammatically correct, it actually had a good flow and used persuasive language. I was genuinely impressed. This could be a massive time saver for brainstorming or overcoming writer's block. But I'm Majid. I don't do things by halves. I decided to try and write a mini essay for a fictional college application. The topic, my biggest challenge, and what I learned from it. I wrote a messy first draft, full of emotion but lacking structure. I then used Grammarly Go's features to help me refine it. I asked it to strengthen my arguments, improve the introduction, and make the conclusion more impactful. It provided specific suggestions, sentence by sentence, and even offered alternative phrasing. Chapter 5. Link Learning English from YouTube and Podcasts. Is this even studying? Last but definitely not least, we have LingQ. This platform takes a completely different approach. It's all about learning English from content you actually enjoy, like YouTube videos, podcasts, articles, and even Netflix shows. The idea is, immerse yourself in real English, and LingQ will help you understand it and learn vocabulary along the way. So can I actually learn English just by binge-watching my favorite creators? This sounds too good to be true. The core concept of LingQ is LingQs, words you mark as new or learning. When you import content, or choose from their massive library, every word you don't know, you can tap on it, see a translation, and save it as a LingQ. The platform then tracks these words and helps you review them through flashcards and other exercises. It's all about massive input and vocabulary acquisition through context. I started by importing a script from one of my favorite tech review YouTube channels. As I read through it on LingQ, I was highlighting tons of words. Blue words were new, yellow words were ones I was learning. It was kind of shocking to see how many words, even in familiar content, I didn't know the precise meaning of. LingQ makes you confront your vocabulary gaps head-on. The beauty of LingQ is that you're learning from authentic materials. This isn't some dry textbook dialogue, it's real people talking about real things. This means you're exposed to natural language, slang, idioms, and different accents right from the get-go. I imported news articles, podcast transcripts about entrepreneurship, and even song lyrics. The variety is endless, which keeps things interesting. One powerful feature is the integrated review system. LingQ uses spaced repetition to show you your saved LingQs at optimal intervals for memorization. You can do closed tests, fill in the blanks, flashcards, and dictation exercises, all based on the vocabulary you've encountered in your chosen content. This connection between discovery and review is super smart. Outro, the ultimate AI English tutor, is, and my top picks. Whoa, what an insane journey that was, pitting these 5 AI titans against each other. We saw ChatGPT 4o build custom study plans like a pro, Elsa, Speak dissect my accent with surgical precision, TalkPal chat like a long-lost friend, Grammarly Go polish my writing until it's shown, and LingQ turn my YouTube addiction into actual learning. Each of these AIs brought something unique to the table, and honestly, the technology is advancing at a crazy pace. The future of language learning is definitely here, and it's packed with AI. But you came here for the results, so let's break it down. After hours and hours of testing, here are my top recommendations based on specific needs. For the best for speaking, I gotta give it to TalkPal. Its natural conversation flow and cultural coaching are just unbeatable for building real-world speaking confidence. For writing, Grammarly Go is the undisputed champion, taking your academic and business English to the next level. And for those on a budget, ChatGPT 4o is incredible. Its free tier offers so much value, especially with those custom study plans and voice chats. Ultimately, the best AI depends on your specific goals and learning style. Maybe you need a combo, but I hope this deep dive gave you a clear idea of what each tool can do. The power to learn English is literally at your fingertips. So go out there, try these tools, and start your journey to fluency. If this video was satisfying, if you learned something, or if you just enjoyed watching me struggle with AI, please smash that subscribe button and give this video a huge like. Let me know in the comments which AI you're most excited to try. Until next time, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.